Where'd you grow up? Can I ask
Philly.
you? Philly.
North.
Do you think that...
With an F. N-O-R-F.
I grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
And my experience with cops in Chicago, very bad. My experience with cops in smaller towns and suburbs,
great.
Phenomenal. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Especially sheriffs.
Yeah.
And I think you made that point. You elect sheriffs.
Yep.
So they're accountable. They got to get those votes. They got to be careful.
Right.
In Chicago, I felt like you're faceless. They don't know you. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one of the issues is that once again, even when it comes to the gun debate,
yeah.
urban versus rural.
Yeah.
People who live out in the middle of nowhere are like, don't take my guns. I need it. What am I going to do? I can't call the cops. People who live in cities are like, cops are right there. I can call them if I need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people who live out in rural areas, even in suburban areas, where you've got smaller departments, and even some of these smaller suburban departments are militarized. It's crazy. They got MRAPs, armored vehicles, and all that stuff. Even so you have a lot of these people who have a more positive experience. Mm-hmm. They're not going to understand what's going on in cities,
right?
And why people in cities are upset. But the same is true in the other direction,
right?
So when these people are like, "We're going to abolish the police,"
yeah,
that's like, I get it, man, but you're going from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds.
You abolishing the police and still making everything lawful. It's very simple. There should be police, and this part is my opinion. There should be police for crimes with actual victims.
Agreed.
So, like,
I think Trump should pardon. We've talked about this, like nonviolent drug offenders.
Get out of here.
Review them to make sure they weren't pleading down.
Yeah.
Right. You might have a guy who like beat the crap out of somebody, but then took a plea.
This is where I disagree. I believe that you go to jail for the thing that you are sentenced for. You have a trial by jury of your peers, and they go, you know what, Tim? That time you robbed Maj, we gotta give you 2 years. And Tim's behind bars for 2 years. Tim eats, works out. Tim comes out super duper swole. Tim should be able to get back to his life.
I agree.
Now to me, this is where, again, objectivity and people get upset. I don't care what your crime is. I don't care. If he's outside, he's not a danger to society. If he is a danger to society, he's not outside.
I don't know, man. What if he's a pedo?
This is where it gets hairy.
Right, because these people will reoffend.
And if they do, they go back to jail.
But
now,
then,
this is so, but I can't. It's like Thomas Paine said, I can't. Let's be clear. I think pedophiles are weirdos that, I want to say this without incriminating myself. If you're a pedophile and I catch you, it's going to be a bad day for you.
Yeah. Or a last day for you?
Or a last day for you. Potentially. You never know. It's the roll of the dice. With that being the case, because I don't want to say it's like premeditated. This is all hypothetical. Right?
In defense of someone else.
In defense of another life. Right? I believe that pedophile, that I think is the scum of the earth, should go to jail, should come outside, and he's paid his debt to society.
Do you believe in the death? Do you support the death penalty?
Yes.
What would you give the death penalty for?
For death.
You kill somebody, death penalty?
Yep. If it's unjustified, like the weirdo. What's the kid that they took to Burger King? Dylan Roof.
Yeah.
Right. We're not wasting a bunch of time here. Let's give him a trial by jury. I'm extremely hard on people that take life. I'm extremely hard on people that rape. And for rape, I would have a different set of things. But death for me would be people that kill people.
You know, rape's an interesting one because there's two kinds of, there's statutory rape and then there's forced intercourse. And they're completely different experiences.
As someone that was falsely accused of statutory rape, that's an area with rape in general, but more specifically both of those, I'm like, yo, we got to fine-tooth comb this. Because I know a dude that just came home for like 40 years for rape.
Statutory rape?
Regular.
See, I think we should change what that's called, statutory rape, into another word.
I think that rape is, and my homegirls are always upset me when I say this, I think rape is forcible. You know, remember when Aziz Ansari, the comedian,
like bad date.
Yeah, the girl said, like, he didn't threaten me. He didn't make me feel uncomfortable, but, like, she wound up, giving him fellatio twice that night. And then she told her homegirl, was like, yo, I think like I didn't like it. And she's like, oh, girl, you were raped. And the homegirl that she was talking to like wrote a piece on it.
Yep.
Mind you, he didn't, she by her own admission is like, he didn't force me. He didn't threaten me. He didn't make me feel uncomfortable. Well, after the fact. Now, that's not rape.
Well, she did say she felt uncomfortable.
You felt uncomfortable, but you give him a BJ twice? because he did this, like, hey.
So I'll tell you right now, like, it's really interesting. You consider yourself a libertarian.
Absolutely.
And we like
I'm a libertarian that has strong conservative values.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's why I thought it was interesting. You mentioned you were for the death penalty because
yeah.
aren't libertarians mostly against it?
Yeah, they are mostly.
Yeah.
A lot of libertarians are against border security. Not
right.
Me.
Exactly.
I'm with
borders.
I'm with borders with nations that okay, so like there's really really beautiful women in India, in Japan, right? I can't like Japan's not gonna let me go over there and just hang out forever. After that visa's up, Japan's gonna be like, okay, bro, time to get out of here. If your nation doesn't let me hang out forever in your town, then our nation shouldn't let you hang out in our town. So, and you can't have no open borders in like a welfare state. Everybody, you won't have a nation after that.
Exactly. That's like Sweden.
You're right.
You know, because if everyone's getting access to a social program,
and you're not from the town,
and they're not refilling that, it would be like if you had a big pizza and you said anybody can come in and take the pizza, but only you got to pay for it. It's like, well, I'm going to stop paying for it.
Right.
Nope, you can't. Well, eventually there's no pizza left for anybody.
So that libertarian and strong and a lot of conservatives call themselves conservatives, but they're really statists, right? They're just Trump supporters that are riding the wave of President Trump, right? Or they're statists. They're not.
Well, define statist. Like, what do you mean? It's like
a bootlicker, a person that is the government.
Let me tell you. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
The people when those cops came and took the guns from the McCloskeys.
Yeah.
I was furious.
Right.
They didn't do anything wrong according to the law. According to the AG.
Right.
They were defending their property. People broke onto their property, and the cops came, and the McCloskeys were like, "Turn around so no one sees you." And I'm like, "No, these guys came and stole your guns, dude."
Now here's the funny thing. I agree with you. I think they were unsafe. When I see the wife,
oh yeah, dude, for sure,
three knuckles deep, going go, like waving the gun. That's where they lose me. If they would have been at the low rate, first of all, you got a Scarface house with like a balcony, like you can like be out the balcony and like you got the high ground.
Listen, man, I disagree. You know why? I think I get what you're saying about her, walking and pointing.
Yeah,
but. If you live on your house and you have a right to bear arms,
you do.
We can't be like you have to have a certain skill level.
No. I'm not saying. I absolutely don't think that their firearms should have been taken.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm not trying to imply you were saying
I'm saying as a person that deals with conflict resolution. So you know how they be like, well, we got to look at the full story, right? The full story. They didn't break that gate down. Now, did they trespass because they walked through where a sign was posted? Yes, they did. The further back story is they weren't going to the McCluskey's house. They were still on like a public street in a private neighborhood.
It was a private street.
It was a private street it's a private street, but not like on the McCluskey's like porch. Right. They were going past the McCluskey's house because a few days before that, the mayor of that town lived in that town. The mayor doxed like protesters on the internet.
Literally read their addresses out.
Literally.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're reading our addresses out, so we're going to come to your address. Now, they did trespass because it was a private community. They did not, like television was like, oh, they just shook the door and broke the gate down. I have the video of them, like some dude like with like he looked like he was from The Purge, like a black suit on, like opening the door. And
he was holding it open for him.
Yeah. Now you still did trespass because you crossed past that threshold.
Somebody did break the gate though.
Yes,
but
because there's footage,
not
the people that initially walked in. So they were walking past the McCluskey's house. The McCluskeys, to their perspective, saw all of these people and they're like, "What the hell is going on?" So they go out on their land. Now, I disagree with them from a safety and conflict resolution standpoint. Me, even if I completely disagreed with all of those people walking past, I'm going to de-escalate. Even if I would have came out and went, you don't know what I think in my head. They would have kept walking past the house. Now, do the McCluskeys have to do that? No, they don't. Where they lost me was when they started waving firearms at Americans and their lives were not in imminent danger. That whole
so hold on. I
fear for my life thing. If you and I, as lawful and safe gun owners, we don't get to use, you can in some states. Because I can and should I are two different things, could and should. I'm not pulling my firearm out until it's time to shoot Jason Voorhees.
So you're not supposed to point at something unless you're ready to destroy it.
Yep.
So in that, yeah, like I think the McCloskeys were violating, a few of the cardinal rules.
Right.
But they said these people were threatening them, saying, we're going to take your house, we're going to burn, that's going to be my room, things like that. And let me ask you another question. Mm-hmm. If you were in your house and then you saw a large angry group, come onto private property, and
are they walking past?
You don't know. There's just a large group and they're headed your direction.
I gotta watch.
And you see a dude pull out something that looks like a long black barrel and start pointing at your house. What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I watch and I get covering.
If they point that at you, you're not gonna get low ready. You're not gonna pull out your gun. You're not gonna say, "Hey, yo, what are you doing?"
No. If I'm first of all in that scenario, I'm not coming outside. Tactically, it's dumb to do that. That's
right.
Like if somebody breaks into my house. I have a plan. If someone breaks into my house, depending on what floor they're on, and if it's late at night, my family already has the plan of what we're gonna do. Everybody's gonna locate in this room. I got the AR ready. I'm gonna yell out, "We're armed. The police have been called. Please leave." Once they get past a certain point, I am going to Swiss cheese them. Now, for me, in that scenario that you give, some guys outside, I don't know if it's a firearm or not. It looks like
300 people.
300 people, and they walking past until
you don't know they're walking past.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I have to watch.
Some people are yelling, "We're going to burn your house down."
Cool. Yell all day.
And then some dude takes his long black thing and he points it right at.
Cool. Do it. I can find concealment and cover in my house. From a tactical and strategic standpoint, that's what I do.
Would you fault someone for assuming that if someone, in this mob and someone has something that looks like a long black barrel, would you fault someone for thinking I got to defend myself?
Yeah, but you don't defend yourself by going towards the gun. That's stupid.
So
that tells me that person doesn't have training.
And I think that's obvious.
Yeah, like it's just a chick doing this.
The reason I ask is because there's a photo, and a lot of people get this wrong.
Yeah,
I've seen this photo go around. A guy's holding what looks like a shotgun mic, a long shotgun. And if you don't know anything about cameras, people are looking at this, and there's a guy literally holding a long black barrel and pointing it at him. And I see that, I'm like, he's got a shotgun mic on a DSLR.
Right.
It's a camera. The McCloskeys might have saw that and were like, they're screaming at us. They're saying we're going to burn your house down.
They didn't say that until after they came outside, though. The McCloskeys escalated that. And I'm not saying they're on, be clear, they're on their property. I don't think that their guns should have been confiscated, but they are not safe and responsible gun owners. But from a tactical perspective, you have the high ground. You have a stone house. You have concealment and cover. You have rifles. You have the element of surprise. You didn't take a second to wait and watch. Now, if it's they come through the gate, they shooting, absolutely get busy. From absolutely, but that's not what happened.
I feel like the challenge is, I definitely hear what you're saying. I feel like the challenge is, what if somebody's a gun owner and they're just really dumb, but they're on their property, there's a crowd there. Like, the challenge is, if you go to somebody else's house and they're scared, even if they have no idea how to use a gun, they're holding it backwards and pointing it at themselves or whatever, it's like,
well, no, I don't fault them at all.
Yeah.
I
think your points are fair. Like they come out, they've got the rifle, and she's pointing it, waving it.
The teachable moment is, I want the McCloskeys to get training,
for sure.
And I don't want. I'm glad that no one was harmed. I'm glad that it spoke to a bigger picture. Do I think that the state should have showed up to take their guns? Absolutely not. I think that was like political theater. I don't think they're gonna like face charges and no.
I see two bootlickers, two different kinds of bootlickers right now. You've got people cheering on as the cops seize the weapon from gun owners who, for all their faults, had a legal right to defend their property.
Yeah.
But then you got the other side. You've got these businesses.
Yeah.
And this one I'm actually, I empathize and I feel bad. You've got businesses that literally get ransacked by, Antifa, far leftist rioters, and then come out and say, but we support them. That's bootlicking too.
I get it. I get why. So bootlicking has to be, So the term, yes, I agree somewhat, but the terminology and how the term bootlicking is used is tied to the state.
I get it, for sure.
But yes, but I also understand there's guys that my business has insurance. They're going to cake up.
That's not so in Minneapolis. That's
maybe
not,
not right.
So all of these businesses, because a handful of them, there's a big story about this. The rubble removal exceeded the cost that insurance covered because most people didn't think they were going to have to deal with a pile of smoldering rubble.
Right.
So it's like they're done. They're gone forever.
Now
it's like their lives are destroyed.
Right. And those are the areas where that Black Lives Matter movement, it started from Ferguson.
Well, Black Lives Matter was Trayvon Martin.
Even before Trayvon. And Ferguson, Trayvon and Mike Brown in Ferguson. Darren Seals. There was a group of people. I went to Ferguson, talked to Mike Brown's dad, talked to Darren Seals, who was a very powerful figure. He literally, there's video of him saying, because it turned from the Ferguson movement to Black Lives Matter. It got co-opted. Years ago, before he was murdered, shot in the head, shot in a vehicle. I went to where
his dad was?
No, not Mike Brown.
Oh.
Darren Seals.
Oh, wow.
3 of the 5 men that started that Ferguson movement, 3 of them have been murdered. Whoa. 2 of them shot in their car. Darren Seals' car set on fire. The Ferguson Police Department is calling it a suicide. Not even investigating it. I went to that Ferguson market. There's still law enforcement posted up at the Ferguson market. I asked those law enforcement. They're like, yeah, they knew that there were 2 sets of videos. They sent one to the Department of Justice. All of these different things. My point in saying that is, even Darren Seals said years ago, 5-6 years ago, Black Lives Matter as the organization just got $500,000 from Google. It is not what it's been co-opted 5-6 years ago.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.